that you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining our show. You have just tuned in to Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephanie Hockenhall. Joining me is my son, my co-host, Gene Williams.
Can you see me?
You are not invisible.
I'm not invisible. Well, you can see me. You can see me.
I can see you.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be sitting down for me.
I bet you are after working all day.
Oh,
So again, thank you for joining our show. Again, you have just tuned in to Where is the Love? You can catch us live on Pod TV, Pod TV together, all one word, space LIVE. You can catch us live right now on Amazon Fire and on, what's the other one?
Roku TV.
What is it?
Roku TV and Amazon Fire.
Yeah, I'm glad he got my back. All right, you can catch us live there. You can also catch us live right now on Facebook. The page is Love Misunderstood Institute. You can also catch us on YouTube, Love Misunderstood Institute, and on Premier Fitness 0210. So catch us live right now. Join in on the discussion and let us know your thoughts. Join in on the show. Join in on the conversation. So go ahead.
You can't catch us now. You can go to our pages, the pages that were just mentioned, to catch it on the back end. You catch a rerun.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we on our show we talk about bullying versus love. We let you know what real love is. We let you know what bullying is, the different types of bullying. We have been talking about the narcissist for a while. We've talked about so many things concerning the narcissist that we have learned. As we learn, we educate. So we have been glad to do that. So, Gene, you want to go over the recap and start the show and then add whatever you want to add?
Would be my pleasure. All right.
Oh, one thing, I'm sorry, I apologize. If you are here, please share your Facebook pages so that other people can see what we're doing here and be educated as well. Thank you so much. Now go ahead.
All right. So episode 26, we discussed the gray rocking method. So gray rocking is a technique used to divert a toxic person's behavior by acting as unresponsive as possible when you're interacting with them. Hoovering is when a narcissist attempts to suck you back in to an abusive relationship. Now, if you want to know more, go back to episode 26 and research it for yourself.
Yes, exactly. If you research it for yourself, then you'll see what it's really about. And the more you research and the more you learn, the more you believe and the more you understand.
Actually,
so today we're talking about hoovering more. We started talking about it last week, but we're going to delve deeply into it today. So, Gene, you can go ahead and start with that.
All right. So, have you ever heard of the Hoover maneuver? Like those rhymes? Bars. All right. The term describes a form of emotional abuse where the abuser sucks whatever they can from the victim to satisfy their needs. Besides NPD, this strategy is typical for people with borderline personality disorder, also known as BPD. Narcissists use hoovering to manipulate a victim into staying or returning to a toxic relationship if they feel the victim is trying to break free. The victim of such covert narcissist abuse is commonly called a narcissist supply.
Yes. You want to add anything?
Yeah. Well, we discussed it before. I'm just going to touch on it. But yes, this method has been used against uh, several. You start to detach from the situation, and they find a way to reel you back in by saying, you need me to do this? Oh, I'll do it. And then they do it for that long. See, I couldn't even snap. See, I couldn't even snap. They use it that long, and then it's over. They just pulled you back in enough.
Yep.
You get back in that vicious cycle.
Yep.
And then they go back to their regular selves. Because guess what? That mask slides off. Mask on. The mask on. Mask
on. So it's really sad how that happens. But that is the narcissist tactic, like you said, to reel you back in. So hoovering is one of the many manipulation strategies a narcissist use to control you. It's an emotional abuse technique, and it's called hoovering because it's named after the Hoover vacuum. You good?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my page. I got to share my page.
Okay. Mark and his jokes. Okay, so this name makes sense because the person hoovering you is treating you like dirt and trying to suck you back into their control. That is what they do. Hoovering is an attempt by a narcissist to restore the lost emotional supply you once were. We talked about supply on another show, so you have to go back and listen to that show to learn more about supply. Or you can look it up yourself, narcissist supply, and you'll understand more about that. Hoovering is an attempt by a narcissist to restore the lost emotional supply you once were. It's all to fulfill their unending needs, such as needing power, control, validation, and or drama. By the way, they love drama. Right, Gene? Gene, you froze. Gene, you froze. So I'm going to go on. Hoovering is a way to suck you back into the abusive cycle, idolizing. He had to go out and come back in. Idealizing, devaluing, and discarding you. Hoovering is an important subject when dealing with narcissists because it's essential to keep the door closed. Keep the door closed after you went no contact with the narcissist. After a breakup and or going no contact, a narcissist might try to suck you back in to the abusive relationship. If they succeed, the consequence is being sucked back into a cycle of abuse.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah. You want to add something? If not, you can go ahead with the next part.
All right.
Mark, did you see what Mark said? He said you were hoovering in your own way.
No, I was sucked back in. Therefore, it is very important their attempts fail, and to do this is essential to learn about hoovering in order to recognize and deal with it. The hoovering attempts happen mostly after being discarded or given the silent treatment. They probably felt the need to give you the silent treatment or discard you as a reaction to your change in behavior. They want you to act the same way. You
Yep.
can't change. You got to be the
Right.
same person. They can do what they want to do. You got to
Right.
be the same person, the same supply, the same bag of blood that they suck from. And
Yep.
then when you change, okay, so you don't, okay. No, no. Yeah, they do that far. It's crazy like that. So you possibly were trying to protect some boundaries, questioning them, or you just didn't act the way they wanted you to act. Lord. The silent treatment followed by hoovering is a way for the narcissist to press the reset button and gain more control and superiority in the relationship. Another method that they use, which was again something that was used against me, like we all love attention. Let's be honest now. We all love attention, positive attention.
Yep.
You ever been in a room with a person and they come in and consciously like avoid you or look around you? Like, how this person gonna be in the middle of a room and you just look them over? Like you don't even, it's like, what is that? What? You be like, hey, how you doing? Am I invisible?
Right. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Maybe I am right now. Am I here? Can you see me? What? Is this thing on?
You
And
a
they
mess.
do that though, because like they said, it's a way of like you got to think about the mind screw that something like that is. You are with a person, they're in a romantic relationship. You're with them, you're in the same space as them, and they consciously avoid you and look over you and act as if you are, a pariah, and then you're just like, what did I do? Then again, it's the crazy man. They do that to you, and you're in your head thinking, what did I do wrong? So a person.
Gene, you froze again.
Let me ask questions. Let me, try to get some clarity on the situation, and they avoid talking about it, um, and then avoid you for days on end. Like, how you walk into a house with a person that's supposed to be your partner, and they refuse to be around you hours on end until it's time to go.
Until it's time what? Until
until
it's
it's time to
time.
go to until it's time to go to bed, and then they literally wait till it's time to go to bed, come and lay in the bed with headphones on, with their back facing you, and won't say nothing. They do that over and over again.
That is some crazy mess. Ain't no way in the world.
Dude, looking back in the hindsight, it's like, wow, really? Even then, so I got to a point, and I just have to be honest about it. I got to a point where it was actually laughable to me. When I saw that person doing it, I started laughing like uncontrollably, so much my stomach started hurting. And that made him even more mad. So you ain't supposed to be happy. You supposed to be sad because I ain't giving you no attention. I'm looking at you like, you was a fool.
Yeah,
How you
that's
gonna ignore a
crazy.
whole person right in front of you? And
I
that's
don't
supposed to be
understand.
okay.
Yeah, I don't understand how people think it's okay to live that way. How can you? I mean, if somebody was doing you that way, which one of the main things we say all the time is treat other people the way you want to be treated. Nobody wants to be treated like that. So why would you do that? That's because they don't understand love.
Can I read the next part, please? The next part.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So let's keep this very clear. A narcissist does not have the intention to really work things out. or to work on themselves. That is a ploy to pull you back in, to
Yep.
you back in. There won't be any change, and they only reach out if they can gain from it. They will try to use the methods you seem most sensitive for and abuse your kindness, love, belief, or hope. Responding to hoovering would be an opening a door for more abuse. So do not engage.
Yep.
If you are sensitive to helping others, they may use that method that they aren't doing well and they need help. If you have a weakness for feeling love, they will try to love bomb and say they have changed. Oh, I'm sorry. I love you so much. I'll do better. I'll get counseling.
988. Call 988 for mental health counseling.
And do the work.
Right.
Jesus. Never mind. I can't tell that on this show. We gonna talk about that after. Talk about that after. You and me. You and me. um, it's thus very personal. Therefore, remember, it's all manipulation based on their knowledge of your triggers, your emotions, and weaknesses, and they will abuse that knowledge. It is brutal and abusive how they manipulate. Now, in the last show, we talked about um, not letting them know about the gray rocking method, because if they know about it, then they'll use it against you.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to keep certain secrets from people like that, like ways of dealing with them. You can't define it.
Yeah.
You just have to utilize it, but don't let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing to you. Hey, man, listen,
Right.
gray rock you down, bro. Nothing. You just do it, and they'll be racking their brains trying to figure out what you're doing,
Right.
and that gives you space to create further boundaries. But if you tell them what you're doing, they're going to use that method against you, and then it's going to get worse.
Right. And so the gray rock is your power. Gray rock method is your power. But if you tell them what you're doing, then they gonna get the power back because they know what you're doing. Yep. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so going back to what we were saying, know that the words of a narcissist won't match their actions.
At all.
This is a core sign of a narcissist. Their actions simply don't match what they say. In the Hoover attempt, they could state declarations of love and at the same time hoover others in search for more supply.
Y'all have to go back to the last few episodes to see what the narcissist supply is. It's an addiction for the narcissist. It's their feed. Yep.
Hit me one more time.
It's their drug. So go back to the last few episodes and you'll hear about that. So it's simply not sincere and there's only emptiness. They won't change their actions once they have successfully hoovered you. Promises will fade away. They will gaslight, ask for trust, use stonewalling, blaming, and show all kinds of manipulative and abusive behavior. That is what the narcissist does. A hoover will thus never be what you might hope it will be. You will be back in the same abusive situation and probably lose a bit more of yourself every time. Their control will increase. The relationship will grow into more unhealthy dynamics, and there could possibly develop a trauma bond between you and the narcissist. So, Jean, share a little bit about how about how, even though you didn't know that's what was going on, how each time you were controlled a little bit more, how the control increased in the relationship when you would, you know, be reeled back in.
Right. Yeah. So what would transpire is this. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, the next part. Oh my goodness. Anyway, goodness. So yeah, so this person, again, we were going through our issues. It was very abusive. Had been physically. I created a strong boundary there with the physical abuse. Um, and then the verbal and emotional abuse got worse because they couldn't put their hands on me. So now they just began to talk crazy to me and add other people to the mix. They did a lot of triangulating. Um, and then so I started to pull back emotionally, like started to be really distant. And this person could tell. So after me pulling myself back, um, uh, I happened to be out away from the person. I started not dealing with them. Um, this person called me. I want to go back to being friends. I know we've been together for XYZ years, but I want to be friends again. I was like, look, in order for us to have any type of relationship that's positive and conducive to, a constructive relationship, uh, you need to get counseling. I'm going to stay in counseling, but you need to get counseling and be consistent about it. I need to see change. Oh, I'll do it now. So, the person got into counseling, lasted about maybe 6 weeks, if that long. And like things were okay for a little while. And then all of a sudden it just got worse. It was like a dive bomb. Like, and it was chaos. Like it was more of the manipulation. And the person started to get aggressive to me, like they wanted to put their hands on me, but they knew what I told them. And I just say it like this. I just told them straight up, you put your hands on me again, I'm gonna hurt you. I had every right to defend myself. Um, so they had that boundary at first, and after I came back, that desire, that to be aggressive physically as well as verbally and emotionally got worse. This person started doing things like taking stuff away from me, you know, um, reading. Like I have a journal. I journal. This person took my journal and started reading it, and then started questioning me on stuff that I wrote in my journal, and then started again being more aggressive towards me and having me put out of the house and things of that sort. Um, because they were upset because again they couldn't control me. It's like at that point I realized that this is just a vicious cycle, and I started pulling back again, and it egged them on. So okay, well you're not gonna do what I tell you to do. You gonna do what you want to do, and da 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 da. And it became just supreme chaos. And if I unfortunately I started having dreams that this person tried to kill me, and that's kind of what was the impetus for me to be like, oh, okay, I gotta sleep with one eye open now. Nah, it's time to start finding my exit point, exit stage left on. Because if I can't sleep well, then I'm a little more crazy than usual, and I'm sensing everything, you know. And so yeah, it never gets better. It only gets worse when you realize there's a pattern of abuse. You immediately set those boundaries, and if it continues, and it depends upon the levity of their the abuse. You might want to get out the first time you see it. If they put their hands on you or they talk to you crazy, it's time to go. I wish I listened to you the first time. And that person put their hands on me. I wish I'd exited stage left then. But I had to go through the drama to learn. And now the lessons that I've
Yeah,
learned, we're conveying to the people. So everything has its purpose, even though it's painful, uncomfortable. It was needed. It was necessary. I'm a lot
yeah,
stronger. And again, we have now this platform to help other people learn and give them a heads up before they even delve as deep as my crazy bit.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard when we're going through things to um, hear other people. You know, they see something different than we do. And so, because we don't see it like they see it, we tend to stay longer and to endure a lot more. And so, it's just like, in every relationship, no matter what somebody else thinks, until you get enough, you stay there. And that's with anybody. That's what we all do. So, the fact that you've learned from those things, even afterwards, you're still learning and you're still growing. And that's, valuable, because there are other people that's going to come to, that's going to come to you in the future. And you're going to be able to share your strength and how you endured and how you made it out. And that's going to strengthen them and help them, because that's what our experiences are for. Even though they're hurtful and harmful, at the time when we learn from them, then we're to share and help others grow and learn from them. You want to add something else?
This next part. Whew. Oh,
Go ahead.
all right. Ooh, time. All right. So narcissistic hoovering comes in so many different forms, which can make it incredibly difficult for those being targeted to know what's happening in the moment. Often, it's only in hindsight ding, that you see how the narcissist was manipulating, them all along. First and foremost, making threats. I know it's so wrong. This might be the most straightforward hoovering tactic, and although it may be incredibly scary, it doesn't leave any questions about the intention of the narcissist. Most often, they'll use statements like, "I'll destroy you. I'm taking the kids. Without me, you'll have nothing." Unfortunately, I've heard all of these. All of them. Anyway, those words are designed to make you think that life without the narcissist would be worse, much, much worse. Frightening scenarios like losing your home, your children, or finances prevent you from thinking clearly about how destructive life with a narcissist has been and how much power they actually have to enact their revenge upon you. Additionally, if you're in danger physically, don't assume that appeasing the narcissist will keep you safe. Extricating yourself from the toxic relationship is the only way to ensure that. Yeah. And I would like to say that I've experienced all of that. Um, and it was only because of the fact that I left. I got out of the situation. Actually, I was put out. Let's keep it honest. I was put out because I was saying, like, either we go or I go. We go together or I go by myself, because my mental health is extremely important. At this point, I was having panic attacks, um, wasn't sleeping well, and it was always something. It was never a dull moment in a very negative way, very malignant, venomous way. And not only was it negatively affecting me, but it was also negatively affecting my children. And for me, I know that I messed up in the relationship. I know that I was not perfect. And seeing the negative effect it had on my children was actually the main reason why I made that definite determination that I have to go. Oh, we have to go together as a whole. Or I have to go and create a whole nother paradigm, um, which has been great in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's been very up.
Yeah.
But right,
It it's an
right.
adjustment.
Like, it's live, guys.
It's an adjustment. especially when you make up your mind that you really want to work things out and you want things to, you don't want to separate from your children, and then you end up having to do that anyway, and then things are, like you imagine, or even worse than you imagine, when it comes to having a relationship with your child. Because for the narcissist, your child is, your children are a pawn, you know. So, you don't want to be with me, so you can't see the kids. So, and that's very unfortunate, but that's how ridiculous and controlling and manipulative can be. And it's not going to last forever. And so we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'll leave that right there. You want to do the next part, or you want me to do it? Or you want to add something?
Yeah, I can do it. Nah, I'll just read the next part and kind of talk about that. All right. So
Okay.
the second thing is using children or mutual friends as a foot in the door. Hmm. The simplest solution to dealing with a narcissist is to walk away and go no contact. That's easier said than done, though. It's near impossible if you share a close circle of friends, and is unworkable if you share custody of a child with them. The narcissist will invent problems for the person you care and use them as an excuse to continue contact. The problem may be fictitious or exaggerated. Anything to get your guard down so that they can worm their way back into your life. For instance, our son is struggling in school. Have you been going over his homework with him? I think our friend needs someone with them right now. Do you want to come over with me? Or having the child? Um, let me think. I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without saying it. Don't you? She's not doing well right now. Do you? I think she just needs to hear your voice. Won't you call her? I'm sorry that she's not doing well, but there's a reason why we're not talking anymore. I'll send her love, but I'm not gonna call. Like that's you literally have to be that, and they're gonna portray you as being mean or whatever. Anything negative, anything that's gonna make them look like the victim and you look like the perpetrator. They'll do. Uh, Other friends, uh, um, mad because. Right all right. Having other friends come to you talking about, you know, I'm mad at you because because you're not talking to this person. Just anything. They they have so many ways of controlling and manipulating the situation. They will use anything, even their parents. Oh, my parents are sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Like this is my personal experience. My parents are sick. Oh, do y'all need any help? No, I'm no, no, no.
So what the
Like
heck did you tell me for? I mean, what's the purpose?
right. Yeah, it's
Anything to gain control again.
yeah. Once they realize they don't have that no more. mm, mm.
You want me to do the next part, or you want to ask
Yeah,
something else?
you go ahead. Oh,
Fox incidental contact is number 3. Narcissists know that you want nothing to do with them after a discard. Many fabricate innocuous reasons for seeing or speaking to you, such as visiting places around town that you're known to frequent, or calling you by accident. This form of hoovering feels very much like stalking, but it's done in such a way that you can't really prove the narcissist is intentionally contacting you. Once they're in your presence or have you on the line, they'll ask probing questions about how your life is going post breakup. If they find a weakness, they'll exploit it to keep you hooked and provide them with supply. You want to add something?
No, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let you go on to the next one.
Okay, number 4, holding on to your belongings. If you've ever been through a breakup where you had to move out, you know how awkward it can be to grab all of your stuff. You might send a friend over to do it or ask your former partner to not be around while you pack up. But those methods won't fly with a narcissist. Not only will they remind you of everything you might have left at their house, they'll make sure to note anything of theirs is in your wait a minute. They'll make sure to note anything of theirs in your possession. You left some books. Want to come get them? You had one of my shirts. I need you to bring it back. It's never about the things, though.
No.
Never about the things. They're just an easy talking point that forces you to stay in contact with them. If you've recently broken up with a narcissist, make sure you sort out whatever property either of you might have so you can move on as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they'll reel you in, manipulate you, and treat you worse than they treated you before, because you shouldn't have left. You should always apply. And since you work, you're on punishment now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna leave it here. That method is being used against you. Oh, you left your books over here. Oh, you left your clothes over here. Oh, you left your bed. You want to come get it? I'm gonna throw it out if you don't. So they use both ways. Like they got the holding on to your belonging, and then the threat at the end. You don't come get it, I'm gonna throw it out.
Yeah.
Really? That's how we doing things now? Okay. Okay. I'm glad I left. Now you can go ahead and throw it out. You can go ahead and throw it out. It's cool. I'll get another one.
And that make them mad, pisses them off.
Oh man.
Oh, you still ain't gonna do what I want you to do. Just throw it away. Okay, let me try something else. That didn't work.
Driving by your house all times of the night and day.
Stalker.
Gotta get the big eyes on that one.
Number 5. Mark said he had someone drive by his house. It was scary. That stuff can be scary, especially if you see it on camera. You know, you like, they that crazy to drive, and people don't know what you got.
Slow, too.
Yeah, slow down right in front of your house. I see you. You are not invisible.
Yeah. You sure? You can see me?
You silly. And another one that drove by work to see what I was doing. Ooh, Mark. And them stalkers. Yeah, that can be scary. People are just downright crazy. And you don't know how crazy. I mean, how far are you going to go? So now I got to keep my eyes open. I'm watching you.
Keep your hand on the swivel.
Yep. So number 5, boosting your ego. The most common reason people fall in love with a narcissist is the intense flattery that occurs at the beginning of the relationship. Love bombing. We have talked about that. Go back to the episode to hear about love bombing. It was one of our discussions. Narcissists can be charming, and during the idolization phase, their love for you seems to know no bounds. Unfortunately, they only love how you make them feel through your supply. And that feeling is fleeting. When the feelings cool, devaluation and discard occur. To pull you back into their circle, the narcissist reverts to that ideation phase as they crave the initial supply you give them and the feelings that came with it.
Yep. They want that first high back. Yep.
So
Yeah.
sad.
Yep.
You go ahead with the next part.
Okay. Number 6. They'll revert to reminiscing about the past. Few of us would ever fall in love with an abuser. There's usually at least a brief moment at the beginning of the relationship where everything is going well. When the narcissist wants to pull you back into their life, they'll remind you of the good times, hoping that you forget everything that followed. I'm not even gonna touch it. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it right there.
I just
I've
don't
experienced all of that.
understand.
All of it.
Huh?
I said I've experienced all of that. It's man, I'm telling you. And you be lost. You be like, and again, we talked about how you and I had those rose-colored glasses. Like, there's that part of you that wants to believe, but there's a cliche that we use in this culture. It states once a person tells you who they are, believe them the first time
Yep.
you have
Yep.
just look at, again, and they said earlier in the show, you don't realize that the control tactics and mechanisms that people use to control and manipulate you until you're able to look at it from hindsight. And then you look back and like, wow, that was blatant and I didn't see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got those hearts in your eyes. You got the
Yeah.
butterflies and the birds chirping and singing and the squirrels and rats singing the songs like Cinderella. And all of a sudden you realize, no, fool, I'm in a dungeon. I'm in
Yep.
a dungeon. I'm a prisoner in my own life.
Yep. That's a horrible way to live. Horrible way to live. So number 7, promising a better future. You can go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so what's the one thing we always hear from domestic abuse survivors about their abuser? When they lash out, they say they'll never do it. And they say they never will do it again, only to repeat the same cycle over and over again, and it gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse every time. It starts off with a slap, and then it goes to choking and closed fists, and then objects being thrown at your hand.
That's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, I learned a lot and gained a lot of valuable things. I mean, a beautiful daughter and beautiful son. But I also have a lot more trust issues than I did before. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I have a fear of long-term commitment because when you're with someone for as long as I have been, and then you realize over that span of time, they have manipulated and controlled you for so long that you started to look in the mirror and not even know who you are. And then those two things that my kids have been used as tools to control and manipulate me throughout the entire relationship. When this person would get upset, one of the first things they would say, that's why XYZ isn't yours. And I helped raise this child from infancy to grown man. But that's what you say when you're mad at me, to get at me and poke at me. Well, that's why he ain't yours. Really? Wow. Okay.
That's just cruel and mean and disrespectful. So there was no respect at all that you helped raise him, another man's son, and you raised him as your own and gave him love as your own. And everything about him was your own because his father wasn't in the picture. That's just, like I said, cruel, mean, hateful, despiteful, disrespectful.
venomous,
Definitely.
and diabolical. One of my new favorite words. Diabolical. I mean, because you got to plan something like that. You plan something like that. That's diabolical. To
Yeah.
plan something that you know is going to be that uppercut to the jaw or to the gut, just like knock all the air out of a person. Right?
Yeah.
That's diabolical.
Yep.
And then when you know
Yep.
a person's past, like this person knew my past and how I grew up, and then use that very thing against me. So we're going back to some of the other numbers where they know your weaknesses, they know your triggers, they will use them against you. You will be their voodoo doll, and the triggers will be the pins that they use to poke you. Like, man,
Yeah.
it's insane.
That's just horrible.
Absolutely.
So, number 7,
Hey,
promising a better. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, we did seven. We just did seven.
Okay. Number 8, calling on memorable dates. I just thought I'll give you a call since it's your birthday. I hope you're having a wonderful time. No, doggone well, they don't mean that. And here's something else. Today would have been our 3rd anniversary, and it got me thinking. Who cares what you're thinking? You're not in my life anymore. Right. On the surface, this behavior actually seems kind of sweet. They're thinking about you. Unfortunately, their concern for your well being is just a veneer. This is an opportunity for them to call you, look like a good person, and keep you on the line. While they're at it, the narcissist might seek out information about how you're doing, feeling, which they can use to manipulate you into further contact. So sad.
Need that fixed. That's supply.
You want to do number 9? I
Yeah.
don't know what I did. I see you know you see what I did. Just ignore it.
Okay. All right. Another tactic they will use is one last conversation. This is frequently used when you've gone no contact after breaking up the narcissist, and they'll use it to get their foot in the door. I just have a couple of things I'd like to say to you. Then we'll go our separate ways. We already went our separate ways. There's nothing to talk about.
Right.
Deuces. I really need to explain something. No, your actions explain it all. Your mouth is just gonna spread lies. Keep it shut.
Yep.
Keep it shut.
Cállate la boca.
Guys, pronto, pronto. Guys, the conversation that ensues does not provide you with closure or help you clear up the misunderstanding because that is not their goal. The narcissist is drawing you in with the possibility of some finality to their narcissistic abuse. You just need to endure one last conversation, one more, and maybe we'll have a clear understanding and we can move on and have a mutually amicable relationship. Not going to happen. But it's not the final call. And the content of the conversation will veer wildly from what you assumed it would be. It's all about pulling you back into the relationship. A similar tactic would be the narcissist saying they need to see you one last time. I just want to see you one more time. We were supposed to grow old together.
We would have if
Oh,
you
it's
wouldn't
cool.
have been acting a fool.
We should. That
But
was the
since you
goal.
didn't know how, right? But since you don't know how to act, I guess that ain't gonna happen. And I didn't stay for all these years thinking you You learn how to act, but you still ain't changed. You're just getting worse, not better.
And
Time
blame
for
it on
me to go.
everybody else but the person in the mirror.
Yep.
I'm talking about the man in the
So doggone silly. I don't even know where we at.
I do. I got this
Go.
one. All right, number 10, subtly reaching out. Subtly, but never subtly. Have you ever had an ex that kept liking your Facebook or Instagram posts long after you broke up or stopped talking? I'm just gonna say this. It wasn't that person. It was their friends and family members
Those
that I don't
those
talk
flying
to.
monkeys. Flying
Them
monkeys.
flying monkeys. Kick off! But all of a sudden they all in your stories and stuff. Like, this dude don't even talk to me. This chick don't even talk to me. Why they all in my stories? Every story. Every story they on. Why? You didn't like me before. Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
feel, all of a sudden you on everything I love. Hmm.
Why don't you block them?
Oh, I had.
Good.
Oh, I had plenty of people. Trust me. Oh man. That's
They
another
just
story
want.
we don't talk about
They
at
just.
all.
They
Yeah,
just wanted to have something to go back and tell.
exactly.
No.
Spies.
Yep.
And flying monkey be spying too, boy. They be spying. And then be met. Never mind. There's never
Mark's.
mind.
Mark
Never mind.
says. Mark says sometimes you have to block fools.
Yep.
Yes.
You gotta put a Hoover Dam on them. Hoover Dam for hoovering. Block. Oh, like the Kimbe Matumbo. Boop. No, no, no.
Pull over. Help us. Is what Mark said.
Yeah.
Is it number 10?
Oh, I'm not fit. I'm sorry. Notifications keep popping up with their name in them, and you can't help but think about them and what their intention is for these likes. Man, narcissists are experts at this head game, and they know the more time you spend wondering about them, the more likely you are to return to the relationship. Boy,
Not. I'm not coming back.
nope.
I don't care what you do or
Access
what you say.
denied. Access denied. I done changed the locks. I done changed the keypad code. I done changed my social security number. I didn't even change my name. Have fun with that, buddy.
All right, number 11, appeals to religious beliefs. Narcissists, freak, narcissists frequently use their victims' faith against them, twisting their beliefs to keep them in the relationship longer. I've been praying, and God has told me that we should be together. Stop lying on God. Stop the madness. Divorce is a mortal sin. You should have thought about that before you put me out or before you made the decision you made. Here's something else. You've turned your back on Jesus. I can help you find him again. No, I don't need your help to find nothing and nobody.
I got a flashlight. I can find them on my own. Flashlight and a map. I got it.
Ah. And number 12, glossing over past abuse. This is where the narcissist will pretend that nothing negative happened between the two of you, or they'll minimize it to the point of irrelevance. Their prior emotional abuse will be blown off as a phase or a minor argument when it was really a series of one-sided attacks. Number 13, you want to add something?
Uh-uh.
Okay, number 13, destroying your self worth. By definition, narcissists are highly skilled at promoting themselves and all of their positive qualities. Many are also quite good at finding faults within you and pointing out how you'll never find someone better. The devil is a lie. Ah, number 14, bringing in a third party. Narcissists are masters of flying monkeys is one of their most favorite tactics. The narcissist will seek out your mutual friends, family members, or even work acquaintances if they can and use them to pressure you to return to the relationship. Nope. Nope. Mark said, "You will never find anyone better than me. I am best, the best thing. I am best, the best thing since sliced bread, according to some narcissists."
Right. Yeah. So this particular narcissist that I continually talk about, this person reached out to mutual friends of ours and literally told these people, "You have to make a choice between me or him." What? Huh?
Just psycho.
We adults here. Like
Right.
you don't. So you giving people an ultimatum because now we're not together anymore. So now they got to choose between me and you. I don't care. Like I have friends that were her friends. I'm still cool with them. Those who are cool with me, those who are not,
Yep.
fine. It may hurt a little bit, but you want a true friend in the first place. So it's good
Right.
to know that.
Exactly.
So thank
Yep.
you for showing your true colors. I see your true colors shining through. And that's why I love you. Cause you're so fake.
Ah, Mark said, "True colors. Wasn't that a bed?"
Now that was living color.
So, Gene, do the last one, and then we got to close out. It's time to close out.
Appreciate it. All right, and number 15. Ooh, ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, Lord, I experienced this one too. Threatening to harm themselves. So I just gotta say, I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna shut up and read. Like this person would use, "I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna commit. I don't want to live anymore. I'm tired of living." And then it's like, so I can't be happy around you because you're upset and you want to cop out and kill yourself instead of doing the work to fix yourself. But then you're mad because I'm doing the work, and because I'm doing the work, I'm happy. Anyway, all right.
Mark
All right.
said, "Playing on your sympathy."
I'm telling you. And they will play
Yep.
that, they will play that violin for
Yep.
Man. One of the quickest ways for a narcissist to get your guard down is by threatening to hurt themselves. It places their victim in a position of responsibility where walking away would feel immoral. "I'll kill myself if you leave me. I've been cutting myself ever since we broke up." This tactic is particularly damaging because you can't be for sure if the narcissist is using these threats to control you or if there's a real possibility of self-harm. If suicide is mentioned, call the police. Though you should never feel responsible for the actions of the narcissist, this is a good way to take responsibility off of yourself without feeling guilty about walking away. You have to absolve yourself of responsibility for their actions. You you create the paradigm where they have the ability to reach out to the police or someone who's there to help, but you cannot stay there thinking that you can save them. They can
Right.
only save themselves. It has to be a conscious, intentional desire and an action to get that done.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's a tool to keep you strung up like Pinocchio to Geppetto.
Yep. So we have talked about hoovering, and we want to next week, we will finish up about hoovering, how tell you how to combat hoovering, and then give you some hoovering, and then tell you about some hoovering tactics, and then how to respond to the narcissist. So we're going to give you a little bit more information next week about hoovering. We thank you for joining the show. Again, call 988. It is the mental health hotline and the suicide hotline number, 988. That number is for both. So you can call that number and get some help. Don't stay in a situation that is harmful to you, or that is dangerous to you. You want to add any last words, Gene?
Yeah. I want to repeat what I said earlier and I've said before. Once they show you who they are, believe them the first time. If they hit you once, trust me, it's going to come again. It'll be worse. The more they get comfortable, the more them hands will fly. Same with verbal abuse. If they start talking down to you or negatively to you, they'll do it again and worse. And more as they get more comfortable. Know this may sound selfish, but look out for yourself first. Get into a relationship, do not lose yourself in that person. Remember, you came in as two separate people to create one relationship.
Yeah.
Always remain and always observe your autonomy. And when you come together, you make each other better. And when you do this, and you can't separate, then you begin to lose yourself. And it's never a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Good words of advice. So take care. Thank you for joining our show. Join us again next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We send you away with love, peace, and joy and happiness. Remember, make joy and happiness your ultimate thing in life. Take care and bye for now. Stay 1 minute for our exit video. Bye for now.